Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you a tour of my rabbit's cage, explain why they're in the setup that they're in, and address a lot of the most common criticisms I received on my Lennon the Bunny videos. Now, I did receive a lot of criticism. I also received some positive comments and some comments that were just hate. But I do think there's a difference between hate and criticism, and I think a lot of the points were just not understanding why I did things certain ways or not having the full picture. Because to be honest, I don't share a lot of my rabbit care on my YouTube channel, mainly because I don't have time to make infinite videos about everything that I do for my rabbits and why I do it. But I think it is important that I address a lot of these points because they were really good things that were brought up. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. One of the comments I received a lot was why I had my rabbits in a cage when I had this entire beautiful room dedicated to my animals. Now, I think this deserves a whole video on its own, but just to address it quickly, there's a lot of people that free roam their rabbits in a room, but that's pretty much all they do, and that's not a very enriching lifestyle for them. Personally, I've always thought free roam rabbits are free roam in the main portion of your house, in the main living space, kitchen, living room area, or in a bedroom that someone actually uses. This is just a basement spare room, and to be honest, we don't come and spend a lot of time in here, so if they were to be just free roamed in this room, that would be a really boring lifestyle. Even though I do have two rabbits and they have each other for companionship, can you imagine spending 24 hours in the same exact space with the same person? That would not be fair to humans, and it's definitely not fair to the rabbits. In my opinion, one of the great things about having free roam rabbits is the fact that there's so much enrichment for them all the time. A lot of the times this can be overstimulating for some rabbits. Like I said, one of my rabbits, who is a little bit more shy and timid, I think that him being a free roam rabbit would just be way too overwhelming for him because he doesn't like fast movements and a lot of loud noises. And that's not because I haven't socialized him, that's just because that's the way he is. So getting back to the point, why don't I free roam my rabbits in this bare room? It would just be really boring for them, and I personally think it's more enriching for them to have this play area, and then for a couple hours every day, they get to free roam this entire playroom, which is rabbit proofed. A lot of people saw my first video, and it was really messy then, which is, I think this is a fair statement, but a lot of people thought that I never let my rabbits free roam in here because it was a complete mess. But it's completely cleaned out, and they do get lots of free roam time in here, and there's really nothing dangerous for them. So like I was saying, one of the main benefits of having free roam rabbits is you know that they're going to get lots of enrichment and lots of playtime. If they're somewhere like your living room, you know that there's always going to be traffic in and out, and your rabbit's always going to have someone to play or cuddle with, or always something to watch going on. I think free roam rabbits is a great lifestyle for the rabbit, but I do think it can be a big lifestyle shift for the person, which I think is why I don't love that Lorelai advocates for it so strongly when it's not really possible for every person. Having caged rabbits doesn't mean that they're caged 24/7. I kind of like to think of it like a bedroom and a house. This cage is their bedroom where they spend some of their time in, and this house is the rest of their space that they have a lot more room in. A lot of people were telling me that their cage is way too crowded and they don't have room to do binkies. Honestly, even if this cage was completely empty, they wouldn't have a lot of room to do binkies anyways, and it would be really barren and really not enriching for them if it was completely empty. What I think works better for my rabbits, and in my opinion, is having a cage with a lot of different things for them to do when they are in here, and then when I free roam, they have all this open space so they can run and play whatever they want. And when I do free roam, I will sometimes take the things in the cage and just lay them around the room so it's a little bit more spread out. So they have things to do all around the room. I'm not saying that this is the only way to take care of rabbits. I'm just saying that this is what works best for me. As someone who has a really busy schedule in college, which a lot of people think I'm lying about going to college. I wish I were lying because it's awful. But as someone with a very busy schedule, I don't have time to be in here for like 6-7 hours a day. So for me, it works really well that I have this entire rabbit-proofed area and I can give them playtime just in the same room and have their cage in here as well. So I don't have to worry about transporting them to different rooms or rabbit-proofing an area before I let them out to play. So this is my rabbit's cage. I would say it's about 6 foot by about maybe like 7 feet. I should have probably measured it, but it's a little bit less than that because it's not a square, it's kind of circled off. But honestly, this is way more than the minimum size. To be fair, it was set up slightly differently in the Lennon the Bunny video, but even in that video, they had around 33 square feet, which is tons of space for 2 rabbits, like I said, considering this is just their bedroom and they get lots of free roam time. And then I probably should have addressed this before, but my rabbits are outside in a playpen eating some grass right now, and I didn't want to add them in because they're just going to make a mess of the cage, so I just wanted to film this really fast. I'm going to get them down in like 5 minutes after I show you guys what's in here. So since I have an X pen, it's really easy for me to let my rabbits free roam. I just move that grid outside of the corner, and I usually just leave it open like this, and they can just come out and play as they will. And it's really convenient because all their cage and all their stuff is right in there, so I don't have to worry about making sure to like bring out water dishes and their litter box because they can just go back in their cage. Some days I will take all their things out and spread it out throughout the room, but honestly I don't think it makes a huge difference any way that it is. I do also have some special toys that I will bring out just for floor time, like that tent up there, but I don't always have time to set those up every day, which I guess is a good thing because they never know what they're getting and it's more variation for them. So as I open my cage, the first thing you see is a litter box. It's really important that you have 1 litter box per rabbit that you have, and it's also really important that you're not using the closed litter boxes. Honestly, those closed top litter boxes aren't really great for any animals, but especially for rabbits who have such sensitive respiratory systems. And honestly, their pee is pretty foul, so that smell's just going to accumulate and have nowhere to go when you have those covered litter boxes. So litter boxes like these are way better for rabbits. Just get an open top, and they're cheaper too, so save your money. So over here is our litter box with lots of hay, and I just used pine pellets from Tractor Supply. I'm pretty sure like all pine in the US is kiln dried, but I know that pine for sure is kiln dried, so that's what I use. And some people are saying I didn't have enough hay in my video. I have 2 litter boxes and I alternate the days that I change them. And honestly, even with a full bag like this, it gets pretty much depleted by the end of the day, which is good because it means that they're eating their hay. And honestly, if you have rabbits, you'll know that they go through so much hay, and this is all I can fit in their litter box. They never run out and they always have fresh hay, so it works for me. A lot of people didn't like that I had a lot of cardboard in my cages. Honestly, you know your rabbits and you know what's best for them. Now, cardboard isn't great for pretty much any rodents if they're chewing it, but my rabbits really aren't big chewers. Sometimes they'll go on like chewing binges and then I'll come in and they've like chewed a bunch of their toys. And other times it's like months they go without chewing, which isn't abnormal. If rabbits are eating a lot of their hay does enough to wear down their teeth. And a lot of the times they won't really feel the need to chew. No offense, but if your rabbit is a very obsessive chewer, one, it could just be their personality, but it could also mean that they're stressed or that their cage isn't enriching enough. I think a lot of people like to think of animals like some huge foreign species, but honestly, it's not normal for a rabbit just to be sitting in a spot and obsessively chewing something. Like I said, rabbits have different personalities, and your rabbit might just be a bigger chewer by nature. But yeah, my rabbits aren't big chewers because they have a lot of enrichment and they aren't stressed out. So from their litter box, they also have this carpet rug here. I got this at Dollar Tree and I love it. It's just a really good texture and they can even dig on it and it's held up pretty well. So I just have this here. Underneath, I also have this fleece and this has a little stain on it. And then this like quilted blanket that I have underneath, which just adds a little bit more padding for their feet and it protects the carpet. Next, I have this cardboard box over here with a hole cut out. I like leaving it right here because when I come in, my rabbits love to jump on and greet me. Next, I have 2 open water sources. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with using water bottles, but I think you should always provide open water sources. I used to have a water bottle, none of my boys really drank it, and they're kind of hard to sanitize, so I decided to not waste the effort and I just have 2 water bottles. 2 water bowls. This is a bowl that I try to clean out more often. This one I do it about once a week and I fill it up about like maybe a fourth of the way. Over here I have these random toys that they like throwing around. One's like a jingle ball. There's some baby stacking cups that are great to hide pellets under or different treats under. And then over here I have another litter box. I don't know if I said it, but I decided to split my litter boxes up because one of my rabbits was being really problematic about using it. So sometimes if your litter boxes are next to each other and one of your rabbits is feeling a little bit territorial, they might be like scaring the other one away. So I'm trying having them on opposite sides to see if that's going to help. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Then over here, I have this tunnel. Honestly, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep this in here because they're not really using it. I think this might be a better floor time toy, but it's here right now. And then over here, I have this cat scratching post. This one, they have gone crazy. They love this. They chew it. They dig it. And yeah, so they have that there. And I think this texture is a lot more fun for them to chew than just straight up cardboard. Then over here, I have this NIC grid second level. They love this because it acts as a really big hide, and it does have 2 entrances and exits. One's right here, one's over there by that litter box. And they can also jump on top of this and use this as a second level. And over the second level is where I keep a lot of their toys. Over here, there's this bendy bridge. As you can see, they've chewed it a little bit. Haven't chewed it that much. Then I have this like laminate like wood slab piece. They like to lay on this a lot more during the summer when it's hot. They just flop on it, but I still like to leave it in here over the winter. Then I have this grass mat that I kind of just set up as a teepee. I bet they're gonna trample it. I doubt it's gonna stay like this, but it's set up like that for now. And then I have another cardboard box. I really like cardboard boxes. This has been in here for weeks. One of my rabbits has peed on it, and like I said, they haven't chewed it. If you feel safer not using cardboard boxes with ink on it, that's totally up to you, and that's always a safer choice. But personally for me, I think it's not a huge deal because my rabbits aren't big chewers, and I don't mind taking that small risk. So that's my rabbit's cage. Please don't feel sorry for them. There's a lot more rabbits in a lot worse conditions. These rabbits aren't in any way like neglected or deprived. I'm sure that there's always something I could be improving on, and I know that some people have a lot more elaborate rabbit setups, but this is what I can give my rabbits, and I'm doing the best that I can. And yeah, I'm just trying my best, and lucky for me, it happens to be enough for my specific rabbits. I can definitely imagine, especially with some larger breeds or just some very hyperactive breeds, that they would not adapt well to this type of setup, but this works well for my rabbits. Like I said, they have this area and they have tons of free roam time and a lot of open space for them to run around and play. So I promise that they're very happy and contented rabbits. If you know anything about rabbit body language, it's very clear to see that my rabbits aren't stressed or like over grooming or anything like that. So I promise that I'm not abusing my animals. Okay, I just brought my rabbits in and they're super excited. I always love bringing them home to a fresh cage. Also, just a few things that I think people might ask. Yes, this is a 2-foot X pen. It works for my rabbits because they're both dwarf breeds. I would say they're both like under 3 pounds, and they're not crazy jumpers, so they've never tried to jump and escape. Yes, I know that they could, but even if they do, like I said, this room is rabbit proofed, and I've had him for almost 4 years and he's never once tried it, so I'm not too worried about that. I do have a 3-foot X pen that I could use, that I used to use for him. But honestly, I like this size a lot better because it's easier for me to lean over and like get the water to clean it out and just get access to them. So that's what I use. Also, a lot of people were triggered by the fact that I put my pellets on the floor. And they were saying that I was giving too much pellets. So these are how many pellets I feed. I would say it's like only a couple tablespoons. Honestly, pellets are not a necessary part of a rabbit's diet, so you don't need to feed a lot. And I mix my pellets with the rosewood herbs, so I think it's a little bit healthier for them to also have the herbs in addition to the pellets. And this like trend of having your rabbits eat from little dog bowls, that's not enriching for them. They love food and they will scarf that down in less than 30 seconds. So I would not recommend. I would rather recommend, I always put a little bit in their hay, encourages them to eat more hay. Not jump in and feed that. And then I'm gonna put a little bit here. And then I'm actually gonna put some in this hide so they can look around. I will also just put it on the floor sometimes, but I just cleaned this cage and I don't want it to get, even though they've already like pooped and made it messy. But yeah, I will put it on the floor sometimes. It's more enriching for your rabbits. It's not cruel to make them work for their food. That's like saying it's cruel to take your dog on a walk because like it's not as fun for them as laying on the couch. I do have bowls. I could easily feed them in bowls if I wanted to, but it's not enriching for them. It's more work for me to feed it on the floor, but look how much fun they're having. I'm sure they would prefer it out of a bowl, but this is what's good for them in the long run. So, okay, thank you guys for watching. Rabbit care is super diverse, and there's not one right way to do things. So please try to be open-minded. I agree that there's a lot of ways to take care of rabbits, and I think a lot of those ways work really well for different rabbits. But I also know that this works well for my rabbits. I'm not against trying completely new things, but there are some things that just aren't practical for my lifestyle, and I think it's important to respect that. Not everyone has a huge amount of space, or not everyone is willing to have parents that completely change their lifestyle just so their rabbits can free roam. I wish it were the case, but it's not always. So sometimes it's doing the best with what you have. And if your best isn't good enough, then you should definitely rehome your animals. But in my case, I do think my best is enough for these guys. And I'm not saying that it's okay to do the bare minimum, but I don't think their setup is bare minimum. So let me know your thoughts. Are your guys' rabbit free roams, or do you have cages? And I want to do a couple more videos about free roam rabbits because there's a lot of things that people get wrong about free roam. So I'm probably going to make a video on that. Let me know if you guys have any other video ideas. And yeah, thank you for watching.